our dialogues, we talked intensively about the bilateral relations, the good one between our two countries, based on mutual cooperations for many years, which helped Egypt in development and coordination, whether bilaterally or with Poland as a part in the EU. And also like to thank the Polish the companies in Egypt, including water and agriculture. We talked about cooperation fields, including renewable energy and green hydrogen, as well as water resources, and how we can use the Dutch experience in these fields. We also would like to use their experience in international organizations and like to cooperate with them even more. I'm glad to see her for many times. She always talked honestly and with transparency with us about many issues, whether regional or international ones. I'd like to thank Her Excellency for all her efforts in improving the relations, and I'm looking forward to even more cooperation and coordination to benefit mutually from this relation. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, Minister Shoukry, for the warm welcome. And I'm glad to be here in Cairo.
I'm glad to be in Cairo.
And in person. I greatly appreciate
we talked about.
I look forward to continue.
I look forward to continuing the close contact with Egypt.
So does Prime Minister Rutte, who has
His Excellency regularly is in touch with the
Netherlands and
President
Egypt
Sisi.
excellent and long-standing bilateral relations. We cooperate in many ways, politically, economically, but also in the fields of migration, water, green hydrogen and agriculture. To illustrate, Egypt is the fifth export destination for Dutch goods in the Middle East and North Africa region. The total worth of Dutch exports to Egypt is nearly €2 billion, and Egypt hosts several Dutch companies.
The exports
Today,
between two
Minister Shoukry
countries
and I extensively discussed the dire situation in Gaza.
and we discussed the situation, what's happening in Gaza.
Crucial and constructive role Egypt plays in implementing this crisis. Egypt's efforts to facilitate humanitarian aid, mediate between conflicting parties, and to help people leave Gaza have been imperative. We are extremely grateful for the help to get more than 80 people with Dutch ties out of Gaza. We have great concerns about the humanitarian catastrophe that is taking place in Gaza. This cannot continue. Today, the eyes of the world are on Egypt once again, in the hope that negotiations on a ceasefire deal will be successful. An immediate ceasefire is urgently needed that will lead to a sustainable cessation in hostilities. To have all those still
And we
taken
need to
hostage
implement
brought
the
home
ceasefire early to ensure providing the aid and releasing the hostages
to Gaza.
and
People
increasing
there
the aid arrival in Gaza and providing medical care and water and fuel. We also
at a safe dispersal to ensure
and Israel must provide and ensure the aid reach Gaza and without hindering them in any way and providing them safely. Egypt, thanks to Rafah crossing, provided aid in the early stages of the aggression. We also must ensure that the aid and the rescue will be implemented so they will be safe and I will visit Israel and will make sure that the aid will be received through air to Gaza. And Netherlands provided 55 million euro for humanitarian organizations working in Gaza, and we call upon the Red Crescent and the Red Moon and all UN organizations such as UNRWA to increase their work, and we support them to ensure that Gaza will be rebuilt. We also talked about how Netherlands can increase the humanitarian aid provided to Gaza with the help of Egypt. We are deeply worried about the aggressions in Rafah, which will increase the victims and will worsen the entire situation, especially for those refugees in this area. In the end, there is an immediate danger of escalation in the West Bank related to the aggression between the settlers and the Palestinians, and of course what's happening in the Red Sea. We hope that the international organization will de-escalate what's happening in the Red Sea and to ensure the providing safe passage for ships and de-escalating the situations, which is very vital. Your Excellency, allow me to end by thanking Egypt for its important role in this context, and I hope that we will continue our cooperation with Egypt. And thank you very much.
We'll take two questions for each minister. Mr. Islam Abu al-Magd from Bloomberg, Middle East.
صباحا التقيتم بالمنسقة الأممية وهل ترون أن هناك
Do you see that there is an escalation or increase improvement in our role? Do you think there is an improvement? We still seeing that there is a direct attack on civilians, especially those who are trying to get humanitarian aid. The meeting with the UN coordinator was useful as we heard from her about her plans to increase the aids and the negotiations she held with different parties like the Israeli and other parties like Jordan and Egypt, which visualized a vision to open the ways for aids, various ways to provide aids. We were also interested to say that this plan must be implemented immediately as the humanitarian situation is getting worse in Gaza, such as we're witnessing, and the destruction. It reached now that some children are dying from hunger in North Gaza, so we must implement this hastily, and we must face this challenge in a way that comply with the humanitarian laws and principles, and to make sure that people be safe and the human rights are respected. We mustn't stand still and see this situation going on. We also focused on the crossing. We want to open other crossings, and right now they are not open yet. There is only one crossing working, but not up to its full capacity due to what's being implemented by other sides, and there are many might be deliberate hindrances. So in order to prolong this blockade on the strip, according to Security Council, there must be a hastening to implement a checking center in Palestinian Rafah in order for the crossing to be operated without being hindered. We are sure that the UN organizations are not biased. So the message was clear. There must be a clear implementation of these plans of the coordinator, and we must imply her mandate, the mandate in the working crossing on which the strip depends on. It was the only one that provides aid. Although we are not satisfied with the amount we are providing, we are actually seeing the aid caravan waiting to enter into the strip, but right now they can't due to the complicated process for it to enter. So we must try to find other ways and to provide the aid through the UN organization, which we trust, and of course all of us must trust it. I have a question for the Dutch Foreign Minister, Dr. Mohammed Hagab from Ahram. Your Excellency, in the context of the bilateral cooperation between Egypt and Netherlands, Egypt is one of the largest countries cooperating with the Netherlands. We talked about the economic cooperation. We want to know more about the fields of cooperation, especially in the green hydrogen and the renewable energy.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this question.
Thank you so much for this question. We truly want to improve and deepen bilateral cooperation. We must work together in the green hydrogen field and the renewable energy, as it's an important technology. We hope that we cooperate with each other in the field of climate and smart agriculture. There are many opportunities for both of our countries to work together, which will be fruitful economically and investment side. We look forward to this during the next period. Mr. Sharif from الجمهورية. My question is to Her Excellency. Right now, Netherlands won't vote for the resolution regarding the situation in Gaza, and we know that stopped investing in UNRWA. There is no unified statement in the EU regarding what happened in a policy incident. What is the message that the EU can launch from Egypt, and what's your vision to end this situation and crisis?
First of all, I want to underline that we have made more than 55 million euros of humanitarian aid available, and we already paid our annual contribution of 90 million to UNRWA. So they did get the contribution of the Netherlands, and therefore we supported them. At the same time, we are looking closely at the investigations which are now taking place. As the Netherlands, we find it very important, and we do hope that these negotiations which now take place will lead to immediate ceasefire of several weeks that will go to leading to a cessation of hostilities, because we see that the people in Gaza are in a really dire humanitarian situation. They need humanitarian aid. There is really necessary that there is a better dispersal of humanitarian aid into Gaza, and at the same time it is necessary that the hostages are being released. We do find at the same time that the court order of the International Court of Justice is very important too. The parties are bound by this court verdict, and we are really clear that the parties will have to comply to this verdict of the International Court of Justice. And last few weeks, I made available a contribution of 3 million euros to the International Criminal Court of the International Criminal Court to do their investigations. And last week, I announced that I made available $1 million for the Office of the Commission of the Human Rights, so that their office in the Palestinian territories can do their monitoring work better and have more possibilities to be active in the field of international humanitarian law. Thank you.
السؤال الأخير أستاذ أمل اتفضلي من التلفزيون المصري.
مساء الخير يا فندم.
Good evening, Your Excellency. I'm Sabri, Nile TV, the Egyptian television podcast. I would like to ask His Excellency Samah Shoukry regarding the negotiations for a new ceasefire. There is some optimism and pessimism. Ramadan is coming soon. Next week, the Egyptian or Arab Islamic vision for the next step to end the war soon. And what's the message you would like to share to the United States if the negotiations fail, especially that it vetoed the last UN vote? The Egyptian policy and vision coincides with the Arab policies and the Arab League vision, as well as the Islamic Cooperation Organization. This is very clear regarding the immediate ceasefire and increasing the aid to meet the needs of the Palestinians in Gaza Strip. And we completely refuse the displacement, forced displacement, and all the war must stop immediately. We can't delay anymore, and we hope that this ends, and if the situation continues, the entire tension will expand and the dangers will expand. So we must reach a immediate ceasefire, and this is agreed upon. What we're trying to achieve with the help with our brethren in Qatar through negotiations between two parties is to end the violence and reach ceasefire, a full ceasefire, and releasing the hostages and the Palestinian prisoners. Soon Ramadan will be here, so we must stop this to alleviate any suffering during this holy month. This is a humanitarian crisis that we must deal with immediately. We can't stand and witness the suffering like this anymore, and all its implications on the rest of the world. The negotiations regarding it, I must say, there is optimism and pessimism, and we're still trying to negotiate. It's important that everyone realizes the necessity to reach a ceasefire, and must be held responsible for what can be done. There must be a political will, and there is the ability and the capacity. And the Kamala Harris word yesterday, she said that there must be an immediate ceasefire. So we're seeing a progress in the U.S. Vision, and we hope this will be reflected on the international organizations. But we hope that Israel also change its vision, seeing that that previously the US didn't support the ceasefire and the opposition to all the resolutions of Security Council, but there is a change in the stance as now a lot call for a ceasefire. There is a danger if this continues, not just humanitarian, but there will be complications regarding the Palestinian cause, and the dangers will expand. So we hope the current negotiations and the cooperations with both parties will lead to a peaceful situation, and we won't go into details due to the sensitivity of the situation. But our role became very vibrant, and we all must cooperate to showcase the importance of reaching a ceasefire. Thank you.
Egypt opens up to the world. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi meets with world leaders.
أعبر لكم عن خالص الشكر والتقدير على حفاوة الاستقبال وكرم الضيافة.
Reaffirming Egypt's vision, delivering our voice abroad.
لتطوير التعاون الثنائي الاقتصادي والعسكري إلى مستويات غير مسبوقة.
Discussing regional and international developments. Solid and strong relations on the path of partnership.